Hi Scorpio, welcome to your tarot forecast for December 2025. If you want to skip ahead, the timestamp is below in the description for you. I also release weekly astrology updates for your sign and monthly tarot readings. And if you'd like something deeper or more personal, I do offer private readings as well, which you can find that link in the description also. Now, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and save this video so you can, revisit it throughout the month and just reflect on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into your December. Now we're starting off here with the energy you're bringing into December, and you have the Emperor card. Now this tells me you're walking into December with a strong backbone, okay, Scorpio? Maybe out of necessity, maybe out of habit, but either way, the Emperor essentially shows that you've been holding it together, managing responsibilities, and, trying to stay in control even when emotions have been running high. You've also, been the strong one here, the decision maker, the protector, again, the Emperor here. But beneath that strength, there may be pressure or exhaustion you haven't really fully acknowledged yet. And this month begins with the question of, are you holding firm or are you holding, too much here? Then for the main theme of the month, you have, sorry, let me fix this. It's going to bother me. There you go. So the main theme for the month, you do have the Nine of Swords here. And December brings you face to face with your internal worries, that kind that keeps you up at night or, sit in the quiet corners of the mind. So the Nine of Swords doesn't, represent reality, but rather the stories that your, fear creates. You might be revisiting some painful something painful, something about like fearing a loss or feeling overwhelmed by what you can't fix. Because this card isn't here to, essentially scare you, but it is here to help you notice that the thoughts that are notice the thoughts that are draining you. All right. The theme this month is simple but challenging. Your mind needs like compassion just as much as your heart does. Okay. Then you have the Three of Cups here for the challenge to work through this month. Now, this is interesting because your challenge is connection, right? The Three of Cups shows community, friendship, celebration. But when it's in this challenge position, it can mean feeling disconnected from others or out of sync with your support system, or, even like struggling to open up. So you might be craving closeness, but finding it hard to let people in. Or you may feel like others are moving on while you're still like processing something very heavy. And the challenge is, letting yourself be supported or even feel less vulnerable here. Then we move into the opportunity to embrace the Two of Wands here. Now, this tells me despite everything, you are looking forward, right? This individual is looking forward out the window, and that's your empowerment this month. So the Two of Wands invites you to, reconsider or consider what's coming next, not from, a place of panic, but from possibility. This is like essentially your moment to lift your gaze from the past or the pain and ask yourself, what would I do to, what do I want to build? And, where am I being called next? So you don't have to have all the answers, but exploring like new paths, perspectives, or planes gives you a sense of direction or, a sense of direction you've been missing here. Then you have guidance guidance for moving forward, and you do have the Death card here. Now, your card in the guidance position, there is something you're, ready to release, something you've held on to out of loyalty, maybe even fear or habits. Now, death is not destruction. It can be liberation, or for the most part, it is liberation here. This card shows that moving forward requires like that honest letting go of, an old identity, an old hope, even maybe like an old role, or even like an old emotional burden here. It's all about shedding. This is a shedding, basically. And it's not to essentially erase the past, but to free up your future here. Then you have your oracle card here, the grieving card, and it says the chambers of your mourning are surrounded by nothingness, emptiness, waiting to be seen. And just like the death card here, I can see like there's so much emotion going on, specifically in your oracle card here. Now, this oracle card is pretty deep, and very, yeah, it's very, just like, it's very deep. Sorry, I was just looking at the imagery here because it does convey a lot of emotion. And it's literally saying you're grieving something. Or, okay, so maybe it's a person, a dream, a vision of yourself. It could be a relationship, a move, or even hope of, once held tightly here. Now, grief doesn't always have to look like crying. Sometimes it looks like feeling heavy for no obvious reason. It could be feeling lost, irritable, disconnected, or like you're carrying a weight like no one else can see, right? Especially like when they say weight on your shoulders, Now, this card asks you to honor that grief instead of holding it behind strength. Let yourself like fully feel it, to fully honestly feel it without any judgment. Tears, anger, silence, reflection, like whatever comes up is welcome here. But again, it's asking you to feel the grief, and to honor it. Okay. Because listen, you're not broken for feeling this way. You're like literally human, all right? And feeling it is how you finally um free it, essentially. So feeling and moving through it so you can just free it, all right? Sorry, I could really feel the energy of this. That's probably why hopefully I didn't get too quiet or too slow on how I talk, but yeah. Yeah. All right. So listen, Scorpio, December asks you to release what has already run its course here. Um, honor the grief you've been carrying and open yourself gently to connection and possibility again. You don't have to rush the healing. You don't have to pretend you're fine. You just have to let yourself feel what's true so that the next chapter can find you. All right. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments or come back later in the month and let me know how things unfolded for you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on your weekly astrology updates, which come through my shorts versus the long version, and future readings. Now, I am wishing you a healing, honest, and transformative December. Again, you are not alone and you're stronger than you know. Okay, Scorpio? Until next time, take care and bye.